Hey everyone, welcome back to VinterGard. Today we're building Loki's Rift, an interactive Norse dark ride with a few tricky surprises built in. I had a lot of fun with this build and it definitely came with a few challenges. So let's jump in. As we get into the build and the thought process behind this ride, I wanted to give a quick shout out and thank you to you guys. We just passed over 100 subscribers, and in the big scheme of things, it is not a large number, but to me, it is a huge number. I didn't realize that 100 of you would like this content, would like to see my thought process, my builds, so I can't wait to see what a year and another year after this looks like, because I'm having a lot of fun. And again, thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey of trying to show as much creativity as we can and see how far it gets us. Now, this was my first time building a dark ride, and on top of that, trying to make it interactive and as immersive as we can get it. I had a lot of fun doing this. There was several times where my patience was being tested. One thing I realized that I'm so thankful I had seen, I can't remember the name of their channel, but they had shared placing the roof down before you do anything in a dark ride, or not placing it down, build it, but then maybe raise it up so it's out of your way. I remember later on you'll see in the video, once I placed the roof down, it was so much harder to build, put the triggers in, get the different scenes to work the way they're supposed to work. So very thankful to that channel, if I can remember it, and I feel so bad that I can't at this moment. But that helped, and once I got the layout here that you guys just saw, I wanted to make sure that it was like a maze. You're kind of in a world where you're not knowing what direction you're going next. Your seat is rotating in different areas, but where it rotates, it has a meaning behind it. There's something you're supposed to do. So being that this is the interactive shooting ride, also first time using this tracked ride for me, I wanted to make sure that there was something to do or something to see at each moment of the guest POV. Is that the way to say that? But I just didn't want there to be too many dull spots, or there's a little hallway break between, even though there is a hallway and there's nothing to maybe shoot at because it's that type of ride, you're still seeing something that is telling us a story of what's going on. The story here is, this is called Loki's Rift. Being that Loki is the trickster god, I wanted to have a theme where different rooms, different immersive scenes make it look like Loki's messing with you. And one thing that came very helpful for me was, actually huge shout out, I'm gonna link their download code for this. It was the Invisibility Device that Taji 3D had made up. Came in very handy. I don't even know how he thinks of these things, but oh my gosh, was it helpful. I could not figure out how I wanted Loki and how I wanted, figure out how I wanted Loki, but I knew how I wanted Loki to look, but couldn't figure out how to make him disappear, how to make him reappear, and make it look ridiculous, right? Because Loki, he's not only is he a trickster, he's a presenter, he's a character. So making him be the focal point, I wanted to make sure that I knocked down everything. So there's a few surprises later on when we get towards the end of the ride, where you guys will see some of those things that I had built on. Right here, this became very helpful for me. Creating all my triggers beforehand, getting an idea of what I'm gonna do for the ride. This saved me so much time, because I was able to then take whatever I built here, move it over to the certain rooms, the scenes that I had in mind, and just create them without having to build individual triggers and the targets that you're seeing right here, thinking about it as I go. So if I can create several different targets and the scenery around it, this saved me big time. It's a strategy I've used when I'm building anything in the game, or you've seen maybe in the first episode of VinterGard, where I get all my scenery pieces together and I get my colors together. Using that same strategy, that same thought process, and bringing it here, huge help, and highly recommend to you guys if you ever want to do something like that. It not only saves time, but I believe it kind of gives you a little bit more space to be creative when you are creating those scenes, and maybe there's a room that needs a little bit more attention. A lot of times you're creating it as you go, which works. I've done that too. But not to say that it burns you out, but I feel like you might be limited in some creativity because you're thinking of how the target's supposed to look, the scenery around it. However, if I can create all those targets, create the triggers, use the sequencers, make sure everything is set to go before getting in there, it gives me a little space, a little breathing room to know what I'm going to do next. I really believe that is one of the most helpful things you can do in a game like this. And for me, someone who's not been in the Planet Coaster sphere for long at all, actually, I was just introduced to this game last year. A lot of things are new to me. A lot of things are I might not be very confident in building, and as time goes on, I feel like that confidence is kind of coming to me. I'm getting more comfortable in building different building styles and all of that. So doing this kind of ride, making it as interactive as it is not just a fun project, but it's also me getting more comfortable with the game. Because I really believe when I first started this game, I saw videos on YouTube and I was just like, how are people doing this? How are you creating these things where, like Taji3D does, or Rudy Rencamel, Silverette, these guys will create these amazing scenes, these types of blueprints, buildings where maybe even the creators of Planet Coaster 2 didn't realize that, this is going to happen with their game. They might have an idea, but I really am happy with where things are in this game right now. My level of learning, my level of comfort with the game is really coming together. I guess that's the way I can say that. Here, again, like I told you guys, creating those triggers beforehand, the scenes that I wanted, having the targets placed where they are. You're literally seeing me taking them, placing them where I believe they would fit best, and adjusting them, making them maybe a little better, because obviously they were off to the side. You don't know exactly what you're going to do with them just yet until they're in here, and now I know, okay, the target needs to be a little bigger. The door was too small, let's enlarge that a little bit. After a little while I realized, the black, or was it the black shape, or I'm trying to remember if I used the stucco or not. That wasn't really working, so I took one of the custom media images and enlarged it, made it look like Loki was on the other side of the door, and then a target pops out. After a while, you will see the rest of the screen be covered up, making the whole room a lot darker. I really believe that for the writer, you want their eye line to fall into one area, or maybe a few areas, but in that tunnel of their vision. If there's so much to see, too much to see, they're obviously not going to see everything. And then, yes, sometimes making a busy kind of room looks wonderful, but I believe when it comes to maybe immersive type of rides like this, you do want the guest to kind of look at where you're looking for. There's a thought process I had in my head, and for some reason it wasn't coming to me the right way. So I jumbled my words a little bit there, so my apologies. But I really do believe if you know what direction your seat is going, what direction the ride path is, all of that, it's so helpful to just build your scene directly in front of your guest. Yes, you can build things behind them that they might not see, but maybe they don't need that much attention. I believe quite a few people, it's something that I have been trying to do, because when you're building maybe Main Street or a shop, I have the habit of completely finishing it all the way around, adding things in the back where they will never be seen. Even if somebody does maybe a tour of your park, they'll never see the back of a shop, but for some reason I always felt like I need to finish that. It takes a lot of time away from doing even more in your park, as well as your piece count goes up. So something I realized in this was not worrying too much about those things that will never be seen. Even though that I might feel like it's a little incomplete, it's okay. It is totally fine. You can leave it as is, because yes, it's not going to be seen, but I am lowering the piece count. If somebody wants to download this on the console or download this whole park down the road, and they should be able to. If I just go crazy and make this a over 8,000 piece blueprint, I'm not being fair to myself or anybody else, I believe. But I think it's even more challenging making sure that you are under that limit. It makes you think about what goes where. That's something I really was thankful to learn, because at the start I just kept putting things down, kept on placing details, thinking it's okay, piece count's gonna be fine, I'm on a PC, it should be okay. But when you give yourself that much freedom, you also confuse yourself a little bit. Oh, what should I put here? And then you put these high expectations that didn't need to be there. You can achieve it by, if I lowered my piece count limit, it makes me think twice about how something should look. Take a wall piece, enlarge it, make it work for me here, make something smaller, does it work better like that? I really do believe that has helped me a lot in my build process in Planet Coaster, as well as Planet Zoo and Jurassic World. Something I didn't bring up at the start of the video is my reasoning behind where this ride is placed in VinterGard, why I chose these walls, and also my thinking behind the theme, Loki's Rift. For the walls, I didn't want the dark ride to be just another dark ride that is a building, which you will see in a lot of amusement parks too. Most of the theming will be where you enter the ride in, and then the rest will be inside, because that is a selling point, right? Is you are in this more darkened environment, or sometimes it is lit up. But because this is VinterGard, everything for me needs to match itself. They need to blend well. All the buildings should have a reason why they're there. So being that we are close to Ayers Port, I couldn't just place a building down that is a plaster walled box or something a little bit more simpler. I'm really happy with the choice here. It really sells the story, but also blends with the rest of the park. Even though we do cover it up with some trees around some edges, because again, just like a lot of amusement parks, your selling point is the queue leading up to the ride and then the inside. But if somebody was to see this from the top side, or when the train goes over, they'll still see the stone market wall piece. They'll still see that it's meant to be here. It wasn't just, oh, they put a box there and then a ride inside. And that is pretty important for me for VinterGard. Having everything go together, having that modern Nordic theme blend with each ride, with each building, and nothing is out of place. So I'm glad we were able to achieve that. It's something I was actually really worried about. Because for dark rides, I don't want to repeat it for like the third or fourth time, but a lot of your work, your story is being told on the inside, and then maybe just right at the start, like the queue. That's fine, but I really didn't want this just to be another building block. So rather than going too much deep into that, that is why I chose this type of wall. There wasn't anything that was, specific besides that it needs to go blend with VinterGard. And the reasoning behind Loki's Rift, again, like I said, he is a trickster. He's a pretty fun guy, seems like, right? So the ride had to be fun. Every room needed to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we just saw that. A lot of my inspiration for this ride was Universal Studios and my recent trip there. I'm trying to remember the name of, there was an amazing ride where, I think it was Secret Life of Pets or something like that, where it's not like a super exciting ride, but at the end of the day, I just remember sitting there with my wife, and every room we were just ear to ear smiles. We couldn't stop like looking at each other and just being like, did you see that? Oh, did you see that? I don't even remember the movie Secret Life of Pets too much. I've seen it many, many years ago. But the ride itself was so immersive, so fun. Even though the story is pretty simple, right? It's pets that they can talk, they go on adventures and such. And they did such a wonderful job with that. So I wanted to make sure that we had, not talking animals obviously, but a similar inspiration of a theme that's continued. Every room is just like, whoa, what was that? Oh wow, that was cool. That was really important for me and really helped me get through this build. Every time I came in to work on this project, it was, what am I gonna do today with this? Oh, I'm so excited to do that. I think this took me 4 days to get done, and every time, this might be my favorite build in the park right now, just because I learned so much, and at the same time, not just that this was completely new to me, which it was, but there was something cool I can create. And yes, you can do that with coasters, you can do that with Main Street or different flat rides, and I really do enjoy that. I think I've said this before, making a coffee shop or a restaurant, I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff because you get to add these details to really bring it to life. But for Loki's Rift, I was like, what do I get to do today? Okay, I can make this trigger go like this so that when the riders sit here, they have to shoot in this direction. And then when they're spinning around this room, maybe they can go that way. There was so much going on. And I'm really happy with the way this turned out. So I believe we're coming close to the end of this build. And now we're going to get into the walkthrough. And I cannot wait to see what you guys think, because right now I think this is my favorite ride in VinterGard and probably anything I've built in Planet Coaster 2. So see you guys in that walkthrough. Alright, so here we are. All finished up. We got Loki's Rift tucked away right next to Ayer's port. And let's just get a full view of the park right now. So we just got this much space left. We're almost there. Getting a little bit of lag there. That's wonderful. Okay. I'm so happy with the way the park is turning out right now. So we're gonna switch this to nighttime and ride the Loki's Rift at night, because I really believe having the ride completely dark inside is the best way to experience it. And after that, we'll do a little daytime run just so you can see more of the details as well. So this is the first thing guests see as they come out of Sport. They have the option of going to either Njord's gift or right over here, just like these guests are doing. And just filled in some more of these gaps, filled in things that you didn't see in the build part of the video. But I feel like you guys have seen me do that so many times now. So I don't know if I actually showed it, but guest entered right through here. And tell me that doesn't look menacing, like just that little portal. And you guys are probably seeing Loki doing his thing right there. Disappeared. That's all thanks to Taji and his invisibility device blueprint. And made this kind of canopy thing that's going over the queue right here, because it does snow in our park here. So, of course, making sure that our guests are covered while they're queuing up like they are right here. We don't want anybody to get hypothermia. And I might have to restart this. How do I do that? Okay. I don't believe I'm in the shooting mode though. So we're gonna have to... I'm gonna pause it just because there is a ride. Actually, before I do that, this is something you guys didn't see too much in the build. I built a stage area here. Few more things I still need to do off camera. Since, like I said, Loki is a entertainer. He likes to really present himself, and he is a character. So created him a custom stage. Comes out of this portal that, you know, he does his thing. Comes over here and performs. And right here you just have it going back and forth. I don't know why, I just love that. I don't know why. And actually, before we go in again, I have this control room with all of my sequencers. This was so helpful because before I would just leave them laid out throughout the ride path. This made it so much easier. And yes, I did label my room. So that came in very handy. And this is just an empty space, so having all of these things stick out and all of that was actually helpful for me. Because, again, you're not seeing that. Okay, are they going in? Oh, shoot. Okay, let's try to speed that up and we'll get on the next one here. And thankfully, this is pretty popular compared to Njord's Gale, which is a little too scary for the guest, I think so. Start shooting. Alright, let's see if we can beat 4,300. Although, I'll do that in the second run, try to get a high score, because I want you guys to kind of experience the ride before we do that. Okay. Is my flashlight on? Yeah, it was. And it's really cool that they added this ride back into the game. I never played Planet Coaster, the first one. So I'm very glad I'm able to experience this ride and build upon it. You guys didn't see that. hope you guys enjoyed. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, yeah. So we just stopped shooting. Now we're gonna try to beat that, and now you guys will also see some more of the details. I hope you guys caught Loki just running out on us in each room. I had so much fun trying to set those up. So much fun, you guys have no idea. Okay, so just say start shooting. Yep, so we want to beat 4,300. That's the goal here. Actually, if I get rid of my screen, I can't see my aim. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. In the dark, it's so... I'm trying to think of the right word, but... It's so immersive, I feel like. You're really in there. I hope it's not too spooky. I was really trying to not make it as spooky as, you know, it might seem at times. Oh no, I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen. Yeah, those targets, if somebody gets them, props. Props to them. So you guys are seeing some more of the details through the ride. Got some right there. He's got one on his belt. So I did increase the points on these small ones by a lot, because that's just not going to be... Those aren't easy, as you guys can tell. Why, hello, Loki. I see you right there. Let's hope I can get these. Oh, thank goodness. I was going to embarrass myself on my own ride. And... Oh, thank goodness. I don't know how I got that last one there. Leave heat has one. Oh no. That didn't happen. Right, that didn't happen. And we do have Loki standing right there. And I really like this marble floor with the green veins, I guess you can call them, going throughout the marble floor. This one's tough. Trying to hit the little targets on Medusa are not easy. Doable. It is very doable. But if you got terrible aim like me, you'll do what I just did. And these guys right here. Oh yeah, he's got some too. Oh no. I don't know how I just missed those. That's cool. Okay. There's a lot in here. Oh, because I already hit that? Okay. You guys can ignore that, right? Nice. And those were the last two right there. And Loki just sending us off. Very nice of him. And he'll disappear. Cool. And there we go. 29. Wow. I didn't even break the top 3. That's kind of embarrassing. That is pretty embarrassing. Okay. So there you have it, you guys. There is Loki's Rift. Honestly, my favorite build of VinterGard and Planet Coaster 2 in general for me, because of the different rooms and scenes I was able to create. I know there are some amazing immersive builds in the Planet Coaster community, but this was a first for me, where I was able to really test my creativity, see what's possible, and also just get more comfortable with building these kind of environments. And I cannot wait to do more like it. I honestly can't wait to show you guys those type of builds, because I'm not going to repeat it again. I was going to say this was honestly the best thing for me, like building this. And just figuring these things out. That's something I didn't bring up, and I'll bring up really fast. I had no exact game plan of how this ride path will work, what I'm gonna put in the center, but I just knew I wanted to do something. So I I think it's helpful to get your layout of the ride done, and sometimes figuring it out as you go, even though that kind of goes against what I said earlier with the whole getting my scenery pieces, triggers, targets ready over there on the outside. Things like this, figuring it out as you go is a little helpful, because a lot of times you'll create scenery pieces like I did, they might not fit. There was something else that I had an idea for here after placing this down, where I thought I can place screens that go around, and they would have where the enter and exit signs are. I'll show you guys that in a sec. Have those be around the guest as they're going around in a circle, and have targets come out. But to be honest, I think what got built now works so much better. And another thing is, if you guys want this in the workshop, or you want to download it for yourself, I would happily put that on there for you guys, as well as if you want the custom media for it, I can create a Google Drive for that. But if you, obviously a lot of people don't want to download that kind of stuff, and I totally get that. I will try to create custom scenes for like those portraits, make, you know, things that are more, or just use only the Planet Coaster 2 scenery pieces that we have here and place them along the portraits, so that you guys you don't have black screens all throughout here, or gray, whatever color they change to. So I could totally do that. I think it would just be another way for me to learn cool things here, because doing the custom media, it was a lot of fun for me at the same time, figuring out what song I also chose. I think you guys heard in the beginning of the video too. But these things, a few of these things I created in Gemini, just because a lot of things I'm not sure what you can download and being copyright striked. At the same time, I really wanted to create some cool, you know, custom things that maybe I'm not able to do. There's things that I'm not able to do in Photoshop. So a lot of fun on this build, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And thank you so much for joining me on another episode of VinterGard, and I can't wait to show you guys what is coming next. We're heading over to the Frozen Ridge area. Don't have any teaser for you today, because we are entering a whole new area. There's going to be a lot of planning for me to know what direction I'm going here. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys that as well. But until next time, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day as well as a wonderful week. Take care. Bye.